Haney Biz presents Entrepreneurs Unlimited. And here's your host, Mark Haney.
You know, every once in a while we get the opportunity on Entrepreneurs Unlimited to bring on a real entrepreneurial superstar. And today is one of those days, maybe one of the most famous companies here in the Sacramento region. And we've got its founder, Dale Carlsen, founder of the Sleep Train Mattress Center, your ticket to a better night's sleep. Good morning, Dale. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I appreciate you coming down and joining us this morning. And maybe we'll just jump right into it. You founded the largest mattress retailer in the nation, Sleep Train. How big is Sleep Train?
Well, Sleep Train right now, combined with Mattress Firm, who we just merged with, is 3,400 stores in 48 states.
Oh, my gosh. And you started as an employee at a mattress firm. And how did you get started in this?
Well, I went to Sacramento State, got a part-time job at a mattress manufacturing company here in town, and worked my way up, became a salesman for them, became the sales manager for them after I graduated, and decided I could do it better and opened my first store.
Aha. Now, originally, your father had asked you to consider real estate. Is that right? Well, how did that work out?
All right. Well, my degree was in real estate finance and insurance. Wanted to be a commercial real estate broker. I interviewed with a couple of the real estate houses, got a couple job offers. But, the first 2 years of real estate, you got to pay your dues, much like radio and other things.
Yeah, no doubt.
I had no problem paying my dues. But my boss came to me and wanted me to be a sales manager for the company. And he was offering me $30,000 a year. They were offering me 12. He was offering me benefits and vacation, no benefits and vacation. And more importantly, Mark, he was offering me a 280Z T-top sports car as a company car when I was young and single.
Oh, you cannot pass that up. Nice move. Well, what's your dad say now that things have worked out okay for you? Well, of course, I know he passed away, but as you...
Well, when I talked to him about opening the store, he was dead set against it. He was an accountant, CPA, very conservative, and said, don't do it. Small business fail. Stick with what you're doing. Do your real estate thing, but don't do this. But my stepmom actually won a trip on the radio, and they took their first trip ever out of the country. And in that 2-week period, I bought a truck, leased a space, and quit my job.
So dad's out of town, and start the company. Buy the truck, get it going.
A little afraid of my dad.
Yeah. Now, why are you so afraid of your dad? He was just one of those guys, right? Hard charger.
Yeah, he's a strong man. But when he came home, he said, hey son, you're on your own. You've made your decision. That's fine. I'll give you one piece of advice, and that's if you want to be successful, surround yourself with good people, treat them right, and make everybody successful. And that's really how this company grew. It's not me. Wow. I just had great people that I got the pleasure to work with every day.
And give us a little bit of the history of the growth of the company. This was in the 80s when you started it, and then at some point you had very fast growth.
Yeah, and it started in 1985, and then it wasn't really to the early 90s that we started to grow. We kind of just slowly, there was a lot of ups and downs in the early years, but we won't go into that. But we made it through. In the 90s, though, we started to grow and put our plan together to expand. And so we put a model together. It was going to be a 5-year model to actually start the expansion, and did that in about 1993. In 1995, Smith's Home Furnishings up in Portland, Oregon, filed bankruptcy. They had 50% of the market share for mattresses in Oregon. And so we looked at it and said, hey, this is the time to go. Even though we're not ready, we don't have the money. Everything else we had on our list we had done. But who needs money? Let's just do it.
But prior to that, you made a sale of a mattress to a man that was on the radio. Tell us that story. Wasn't that a little bit of a turning point for you?
That was a critical turning point. That's when I learned the value of radio, quite frankly.
What happened?
Well, this was right at the beginning. Quite frankly, we were about 8 months into it. Business was not going well. My dad was pretty close to being right. And I decided that I needed to expand the company. I needed to open a second store. So figured I'd go broke twice as fast or make it work.
Yeah, get a second store going since the first one's not working. Okay.
Right. So opened that store, but at the same time I had an account executive for KFBK Radio who would eat pizza at the pizza parlor next to me. He was a drummer in the Ray Charles band, and he'd taken a break to sell radio. He came in, and we'd got to be friends, and one day he came in and said, hey, I got this new guy on the radio. He needs a bed. Will you take care of him? I said, sure. I need every sale I can get. Bring him in. Happened to be Rush Limbaugh. As everybody knows, Rush started here in Sacramento. Rush came to me and said, hey, you're a young kid. You're doing this right. You got to let me go on the radio and tell your story. he went on the radio, and next thing I know, people started coming in saying, I want the bed Rush sleeps on. I want the bed Rush sleeps on. Well, Rush didn't have a lot of money at that time, so he had just bought a middle-of-the-line bed.
Yeah.
And so I called him back up and said, Rush, you need to come back in and get the top-of-the-line bed because they'll buy any bed you're sleeping on, and I can't lie, so you need to get this bed.
That's great. Well, it looks like it's worked out well. So you ended up with making some purchases up in Oregon, and tell us about what happened from there, how you grew.
Well, really the Rush's thing was fundamental because we realized how to get you were just talking about, how do you get your name out? How do you get your voice out? And who do you use to do that? And so we realized that Rush couldn't be the only one to do that. So now we have over 400 personalities, 425 I think right now, and growing rapidly with this.
Today you have 400 personalities on the radio that spread the Sleep Train, the company message.
Right, but that doesn't include the expansion we're doing at Mattress Firm. So we will rapidly be one of the largest on-air people. But it's getting that message out that made the fundamental difference. So we used it. Everybody sleeps. That's a great part about our business. Everybody needs to know what is the right bed for them. Where do I go to find that? Who do I trust, as you were talking about? And that's the message we get out with the personalities.
It surprises me that the radio is such a big part of your current business, where the radio for a lot of people is just not as popular. People are reaching out in other ways. Why do you think radio is different for Sleep Train?
Well, we reach out in all the different social media, all the different ways, too, because you're right, the world is changing. But still, people, when it comes to me, when it comes to that connection to your community, you do turn to the people that are in town that are telling the stories. You know, your show here, other shows that are telling the story. So having that local connection with great personalities and has really been a benefit for us.
And I was, you and I had discussed this earlier about some mattress centers. They've gone to the online route, and you guys can sell mattresses online, but people like to go into your stores. Why?
Well, if you look at the product is a touch and feel product. You really, your back, your sleep habits are different than Tom's, different than everybody else's, right? Everybody has a different, your lower back hurts, your upper back hurts, you toss and turn, you have arthritis, you have different things that are going on. So you really need to try them out. So when you're, where you can look online on a lot of products and buy it online, this is a product that you really should test out. We tell everybody, come in, take your shoes off, jump on the bed, sleep on it, lay on it the way you do, because that's what you need to know to get the bed that's going to give you the best night's sleep.
Yeah, and your team is extremely knowledgeable, so they can explain the differences.
Yeah, that was one of the things when I started out. You look to see how do you differentiate yourself from others. What I saw in the mattress world was everybody was selling, no one was educating. And so we took our training program to say, we need to teach you what the right bed is right for you, show you what the right product is. So that means, what are your sleep issues? What are those? Find out more, and then actually help you find the bed that's right for you. Not just sell you what's on sale right now. Let's show you the bed that's going to have you have a good night's sleep. So
people come into the Sleep Train, a given location, and you encourage them to jump on the bed and do all kinds of stuff to make sure they like the bed. What's the crazy? These sales guys, what do they have to stop? Do they have to stop roughhousing or other kinds of activities?
Oh, it's it's an interesting world in the mattress business, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
From kids jumping bed to bed, from DJs jumping bed to bed.
Oh, DJs doing it too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're fun. To others that ask if they could stay overnight.
Yes, I can imagine. I'm Mark Haney, and when we come back, we're going to get more of the entrepreneurial story from Dale Carlsen, a guy that's built a tremendous company, started right here in Sacramento. This is Entrepreneurs Unlimited on Sports 1140 KHTK, streaming live, podcast, and YouTube at haneybiz.com. I'm back here with Dale Carlsen, founder of the Sleep Train Mattress Center, and we were talking about how you built your business and the culture. But you recently had a big event, and I think it affected the employees because you've got an ESOP, right? Can you tell us about that?
Right. Well, back in 2010, my wife and I decided that we wanted to share the company with our employees. These are family, friends. I'd worked with them for so many years, and as my dad had said, surround yourself with great people, treat them well, and make everybody successful. That last component was make everybody successful. We said, what better way than give them part of the company? So we gave 25% of the company to the employees, and then we grew rapidly with that.
Right.
And so when we came time to make this deal with Mattress Firm, it was really for the benefit of our employees to actually have them have the ability to have that cash.
Yeah.
To move. We transferred $117 million to the employees.
Wow. Wow. Life changing.
But they deserved it. They're as I said, I was just blessed to be surrounded by great people.
So you just go back in time a little bit. You invested into Oregon, growing stores in Oregon, and things were cranking along. And tell us about that 5-year plan and that growth strategy.
Well, first of all, as I said, we didn't have the money. We went into Oregon, right? So that was a big lesson learned because we went and opened 4 stores. Our competitor from Seattle came down and opened 10 stores.
Oh, boy.
That put a little hurt on our growth there. So we decided we needed to grow faster. So we opened more stores in Portland, but then we decided to compete against them in Seattle. So we went and opened 14 stores in Seattle. That was 96, we opened Seattle. 97, we opened in Seattle. 98, we opened up in the San Francisco Bay Area, opened up 23 stores at one time there. And then in 1999, the private equity guys came into the world, and they owned Simmons and Sealy mattress companies.
Right.
And they wanted to own retailers as well. So they started buying up retailers. One of the guys, both of them actually, 2 of the main guys came and said, we want to buy you, which I started to do, quite frankly, because they were offering a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I'm blessed to be married to a wonderful woman who doesn't care about money. And she said, why are you doing this? And I said, well, it's a lot of money. She says, well, let's see. We have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. We can't travel the world. Your friends can't go play with you because they're working. You don't fish and you suck at golf. So what are you going to do with your life? She's honest too,
Yeah. So you changed your mind.
I changed my mind.
You started down the path of going down the private equity route and selling, and changed your mind.
Changed my mind. Told them I can't do that. They came to me and said, what about your Northwest stores? I said, I don't want to sell those, but they came to me basically and said, if you don't sell them, we have a lot of money and we're going to come after you because we're buying your biggest competitor up in the Northwest.
Right.
So I made a hard decision that I had to sell that section of the company. So we sold it, took that money, invested in the company. We invested in training. We invested in programs. We invested in our employees. We invested in making our company so that no one could threaten us again.
So did you hold growth down for a couple of years there? Yeah.
That didn't at a lot drop dead date that we couldn't grow for 2 years, and then we really invested in that. Then we decided it was time to go. Opened up in San Diego. Then we bought Mattress Discounters. That was a new venture for us because we decided, okay, now it was time to. We were going to buy Mattress Discounters, just make them all sleep trains, but my mom and dad were 2 different types of shoppers. My dad was it's not a piece of furniture in his house that wasn't bought at a closeout discount bargain store. He wanted a deal.
Yeah.
My mom, she wanted the service and everything that Sleep Train provided. But by buying Mattress Discounters, we could actually provide both to everybody. So we bought Mattress Discounters. We grew that, and then did the ESOP. Decided to
In 2010, you did the ESOP, but I mean, let's talk about the two different types of locations, right? One's a discounter and one's more high end, the Sleep Train with more service. And these would often are often in locations right by each other. They're kind of competing with each other to a small amount.
Yeah, you're basically in the mattress world. People want to go where they can shop and have alternatives. So we wanted to provide both opportunities for our guests, so they could see, if they wanted that discount deal over here, they could get that here. Price was important in both, so the products were different. So it's not like we had a product here, across the street we discounted it. It was across the street was a different product line, that might fit somebody's price budget better than what we offered over at Sleep Train. Sleep Train always has had the best price, the lowest prices, the best selection, and
I'll fast forward back to when you started the ESOP in 2010 in just a moment, but let's go back just a tiny bit to you're growing your company and things are going well, and then all of a sudden the 2007, 2008 timeframe comes on, and all of us had to regroup at that point. How did that affect the Sleep Train?
It was tough, like everything, because I just bought the Northwest, right? So the first time I'd actually gone to a bank for money, and so we had a loan. We had sales that dropped off. Things were not good, and quite frankly, it was a challenging time. Probably my most memorable time of that was right when everything was collapsing. We had scheduled a management retreat, which was something we do every year, and everybody was canceling theirs, right? All companies were canceling all their retreats, canceling that.
Right.
And our team looked at each other and said, if there's ever a time you need to be in front of your people, it's this right now because they're scared. So we brought them all together. We had the meeting. But when I walked up on stage there, I got to tell you, Mark, I myself was not sure we could pull through. It was scary times. But I knew once I walked on stage, when I talked to my team, I looked at them and I saw that passion that our people have. And I knew, there's nothing stopping us. We will pull through this. They were amazing group of people.
Like, I got your back, Dale.
Exactly.
We're going to do this.
They did. We all worked together. We all just fought to do it better, cheaper, and provide our guests with the best opportunity. So we kept the guests that we had, and we gave them the experience. And it all pays off. The other interesting thing about times like that, and you read every book will tell you this, we continue to advertise.
Wow.
Most people...
Yeah, that's an area you cut out. That's an expense line item you might cut.
Right. The banks came to me, quite frankly, said, because they're looking at my financials, they're going, you need to cut advertising. I go, I will not cut advertising. I'll give you the keys to the company before I'll cut my advertising because it's a death spiral. You cut advertising because sales are down. Sales drop further. You cut advertising because sales are down, drop further, and it goes and you're out of business.
Wow.
Those that advertise during the hard times are those that survive and do the best in the future.
Wow. So you're up in front of these employees and look them in the eye and you rally together. And then 3 or 4 years later, you're up in front of them again talking about creating a program for them, the ESOP. Tell us what happened then.
Well, the ESOP was one of the greatest joys I had doing that. Something my wife and I really believed in. I think I shared with you the story of how we delivered the message. We had the meeting, and so we have our retreat. We got all the people in the room, and I came up on stage and I said, emotional, said, I need to tell you all something, and it went dead silent. I said, I've made the decision to sell the company.
Oh.
And you could see people in the audience getting mad. There were actually some people starting to cry, going, oh my God, what have you done? And I said, I've told you all that I would look for someone that, cared about the community, cared about our employees, cared about our guests and doing the right thing. I needed to find that person before I would do this. And I found that group of people. So, they couldn't be here today, but they wanted to let you know something about them. They've given you a little gift. It's a box on the table. If you'll open up your box and you'll take a look and you'll see who the new owners of the company are. And it was a mirror looking back at them.
Wow.
And people were just going, what do you mean? I don't get it. And so then we explained that you're now
It's your
owners.
company.
Your
You're the
companies.
new owner.
Yeah. It was awesome. A great experience. And, and that took us from that point, and we skyrocketed from there on. I mean, ownership is something, as you know, is powerful. It's very powerful. Huge believer in the ownership.
Dale, I think that's as good a story as we've heard on Entrepreneurs Unlimited. And it shows your heart. It shows why you were so successful, the people rallied around you. And as we only have a couple minutes left, but I want to talk a little bit more about your heart. You've had so much success. Your employees have taken $117 million beyond their paychecks to put toward their dreams. But you do so much in the community. You do so much with the foster care or the foster kids. Tell us why the foster kids mean so much to you.
Well, I was raised that you got to give back. I was raised that, we're very blessed in this country to have the opportunity to succeed like we have. So from the very beginning, I started figuring out how to do it. I didn't have money, but I had mattresses. So we started giving mattresses for kids. They were in group homes and foster homes because sometimes they were sleeping on dirty clothes, on an old banana bed where their backs are developing, sleeping on bad beds. So we started that. Then we started the program for bring the community in. Because in my early days, I didn't promote it, didn't do anything. But I had a lot of the agencies, everybody said, you need to tell people what you're doing here because more people need to know they need to help and that this is the cause they should help. So the ability for people to bring backpacks, shoes, pajamas to help these kids. Because I don't know how much your listeners know about foster kids. These kids did nothing wrong. Yeah. They simply had parents that couldn't take care of them. And we dump them into a system that bounces them around from house to house to house. on average 3 homes, sometimes 20 homes, before we kick them out at 18 and say, now go be good citizens. They need to know somebody cares. The young 12-year-old that we gave a pair of shoes to, he looked at me with tears in his eyes, put the basketball down that we gave him as well, and said, someone cared enough about me to buy me a new pair of shoes? I haven't had a new pair of shoes in 5 years.
Wow. Dale Carlsen delivering a message. You know, the sleep train is on the amphitheaters. It's on around the state. It's on the arena. And I got to tell you, today's topic is delivering a message. And Dale, you deliver a message face to face, and I know that emanates throughout your team. And I think it probably makes more of an impact than having your name on all these buildings. And I got to say, I'm so proud to have you share the mic here on Entrepreneurs Unlimited. When we come back, we are going to meet a man who has built a company called Big Controls. We're going to meet Scott Nelson, and we will be back in just a moment. So we're asking the question, how do you develop your message? And we talked to 2 guys today that have definitely honed their message. But why is developing a message so important? Is it so that you can be a rainmaker? You got the fancy house, the nice car, and the toys, and you're blessing your family and blessing others like Dale Carlsen has done? Or are you trying to make some other kind of impact on this world with your message? Because I think building that message obviously is important if you want to drive home the point. So, hey, guys, I'm back here with Marcus Haney and Tom Cisneros, and we're talking about building your message. How do you do that?
Man, I got to be honest with you. After listening to the interview with Dale, I was moved. I was taken aback by his charitable sense of giving back to the community that he has built professionally, and the message I got from that was, why the heck wouldn't, if I was in the market for a mattress, why wouldn't I buy from somebody like that gave back to the people that give so willingly of themselves?
No doubt.
That's the message I got.
A powerful message.
Absolutely.
And you think if it's a message that you care about, that Dale Carlsen cares about, that he's got the conviction to stand behind. I was talking to Scott Marsh, who's a good friend of mine from down here at KSTK Studios, and he said something the other day. He says, Mark, you've got to have a courage of conviction. I thought about that as I care about my message, so I've got to, as I'm crafting my message, I need to think about how sincere I am about my message, how much I care about my message, and what my message means to me. And so you've got to have a message that gets people's attention. You know, we've talked about my show up, shock 'em, and systematize strategy, and we're here. We've showed up, right? We're at the radio station. We've started a limo company. Big Controls is getting ready to launch. But have we shocked them? Have we done anything to get their attention that gets them to take another look? And have we said what we need to say in a way that's compelling enough to have them take another look? Dale Carlsen was compelling today in his story about the ticket to a better night's sleep. He was compelling. He had my attention. So I think if we want to, my dad always used to tell me, don't open your mouth unless you have something to say. And I think what he meant by that is, if you don't have a reason, if you're not trying to change somebody's behavior, if you're not trying to have a ripple in the world, then maybe you ought to keep your message on the down low and hold back until you have something that, like Scott Marsh says, you have the courage to speak about. And so as I think about Entrepreneurs Unlimited and my message and thinking about how I want to deliver to, I'm thinking about my target, which is really the entrepreneurs, right? It's really people that want to chase their dreams. And right now I'm talking to Sacramento, right? We're on KSTK Sports 1140, and we're talking to Sacramento, and we've taken a nice, small cross section of people that want to chase their dream, and we're speaking to those people today. And I think that one of the things we have to do is narrow down that target, right? We got to be everywhere, but within our target. A good friend of mine, Richard Bakken, talks about ubiquity and being everywhere. And Dale Carlsen is everywhere on the West Coast, right? Now he's national, so their sleep stores are everywhere. But for me, I'm thinking about people who want to chase their dreams, and I'm speaking directly to you. I've narrowed down my universe of my ubiquity, and I'm delivering my message to you that as you succeed, I succeed. 1 + 1 = 3. Together, we are stronger, and I am here for you. So God bless all you guys that are chasing your dream, making your message happen. This is Entrepreneurs Unlimited. Never above you, never below you.
Always by your side.